How's it, grade 10s? So we're still working with Pythagoras type problems, working from slides 39 to 40 from the trig PowerPoint. Okay, we are going on to example 3. It's saying if 5 sine theta plus 4 equals 0 and this angle theta lies between 0 degrees and 270 degrees. We want to find the value of sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. So I'm going to write that in a second. All I want to do is just get my information first. So when you're given something like this, you need to get your trig function on its own first. So I'm going to take the 4 to the other side and we get 5 sine theta equals minus 4, divide through by the 5, and we get sine theta is equal to minus 4 over 5. Okay. And with these type of questions, there will always be one thing missing. And what I mean by that, we're going to be finding an x, a y, and a r. So one of them will be missing, either the x, the y, or the r, and we'll solve for it. So what you need to do now is you need to draw up a set of axes, Cartesian plane. Okay, and now I need to decide which quadrant we're working in. So over here you can see it's sine is equal to a negative number. Okay, and if we look at our cast diagram, we can see that sine is negative in this quadrant and this quadrant, because that stands for all, that stands for sine. So sine will be negative here and here. So I'm going to mark this with a tick. This one over here I'm going to mark with an X, and it's telling us this angle will be between 0 and 270. So between 0 and 270, there's 0, 90, 180, 270. So that is that quadrant, and that quadrant. Now I'm going to look where my tick and my X both agree, and it's in this quadrant over here. So you can see that we're in the third quadrant. And that's our angle theta. And what I do next is I just drop a perpendicular line to the x-axis. Okay. Now I come back to this thing over here. And we know that sine in terms of x, y, and r is y over r. Shelter your rear. Okay. And you remember what I said to you guys, that r is always positive. Okay, so you can see here we have negative 4 over 5. So which one must be the negative? Well, r can't be negative because it's always positive. So our y must be negative. Now this is our y value over here. So this must be negative 4. This arm is always your r value. So that is 5. And that's our x value. So you can see the unknown is x. And we use Pythagoras to find out what that is. So we've got x squared plus y squared equals r squared. X squared plus minus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Let's just work this out. So x squared plus 16 equals 25. Take that to the other side and we get x squared is equal to 9. Take the square root and we get x is equal to plus or minus 3. Okay, remember whenever you take the square root, it's plus or minus. Now, which one is it? Is it plus 3 or minus 3? Well, we're in the third quadrant, so we know our x values here are negative. So therefore, x is equal to minus 3. Why? Because we're in the third quadrant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to summarize all of our values. So we know what x is, it's minus 3. Y we know is minus 4. And r is equal to 5. Okay, now we're ready to answer the question. They said to us, calculate the value of sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. Okay, I'm going to change these things into their x, y, and r values. So we know that sine is shelter your rear, so it's y over r, and this thing is squared, plus Causes, because x rays. And that is squared. I'm now going to substitute these values in here, and we get minus 4 over 5 squared plus minus 3 over 5 squared. That gives us 16 over 25, because minus 4 times minus 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25, plus minus 3 squared is 9. 5 squared is 25. My denominators are the same, so I can just add the numerators. Guys, I'm just going to continue over here. So 16 plus 9 is 25, all over 25, which gives us 1. Okay. Going on to example 4. They're saying if 4 cos theta minus 3 equals 0, and this angle theta lies between 180 and 360, calculate the value of tan theta times sine theta. And I'll write that in a second. I just want to get this information out first. So get your trig function on its own. So this is 4 cos theta equals 3. Divide both sides by 4. And we get cos theta is equal to 3 over 4. Okay. Now I'm going to decide what quadrant we're in. Just draw up your little cast diagram. So you see here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to mark this one with a tick. And it is a positive value. So which quadrant is cos positive in? It's positive in that one and that one. All cos. Now I'm going to mark this one with an X. We're looking for angles between 180 and 360. Well, there's 180 to 360. Where do both of these agree? In that fourth quadrant. Draw up a Cartesian plane. And we know we're in the fourth quadrant, so I draw my arm in the fourth. Label the angle, and it's theta. Drop a perpendicular to the x-axis. And now I'm going to fill in my values. So we know that cos is x over r, because it's cos x rays. All right. So our x value is 3 and our r value is 4. So we're just missing the y value. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So this is 3 squared plus y squared equals 4 squared. This is 9 plus y squared equals 16. So y squared is equal to, take the 9 to the other side, and we get 7. Take the square root, and we get y is equal to plus or minus root 7. Now, which one is it? Is it plus 7 or is it minus 7? Well, we're in the fourth quadrant, so our y values here are negative. So therefore, y is equal to negative root 7. Okay, just summarize all our values here. X is equal to 3. Y is equal to minus root 7, and r is equal to 4. Okay, now they asked us to find the value of tan theta times sine theta. I'm going to put these in terms of x, y, and r. So this is shelter your rear, because x rays tan your x, derriere, multiplied by shelter your rear, y over r. Substitute my values in here, and we get y is minus root 7 over x is 3, multiplied by y is minus root 7 over r is 4. Okay, a negative times a negative is a positive. Root 7 times root 7 is 7 over 3 times 4 is 12. And that is it. Thank you, grade 10s.